Hey everyone, and welcome back to 4-Wheel Builds. I had some time out of this. I've been doing other things around the farm, so now I want to get back onto this crankshaft pulley. Now I've tried taking it off with a puller. I've tried this slide hammer technique. I've heated it up, I've cooled it down, and the bloody thing still will not budge. So there's one thing left, and that's to cut the bloody thing off. So we've got an angle grinder, we've got some safety goggles, and let's get cutting. Ow, 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 ow. That's bloody hot. So guys, as you can see, what I've got to do is actually cut around and cut all these bits and pieces out, because my 125mm cutting disc is not deep enough to reach that. So I got to cut all this out. So I'm going around now. It's a lot more work, but what are you going to do? We've managed to get a large portion of the crank pulley out, so need to maybe get onto the Dremel tool and see if we can cut the remainder of this wall out. The Dremel tool is doing a really good job just cutting through this last ring, and we are just about there being able to get this crankshaft pulley off. Finally, after all that hassle, I finally got the bloody remainder of this wheel off. Okay, I think now what we can do is actually get this bolting, and I believe we should be able to see if this engine turns. Fingers crossed. Alright guys, and now the big moment. I've got a 27mm socket on. I've got a breaker bar. The bolt is in. Let's try to turn the engine. Yeah, it's turning! This is wonderful, wonderful news. And it's turning quite easily, which is fantastic. That means this engine is good, it's not seized, so we can start buying the parts for it to put it all back together. Bloody fantastic! And guys, I'm bloody ecstatic. So this engine is good. We can start stripping the remainder of it apart. As you know, this project depended on this engine turning over, and now we have what I needed. This engine is turning over, and we can keep on going and get this Mercedes back on the road. Not sure you can see, but this crankshaft pulley or harmonic balancer, call it whatever you like, really got hammered in there. I mean, right on the tip there. That's quite rough, right there. So that really got nailed in there. Bolt, I can feel a little bit of roughness on that crankshaft as well, so hopefully we can get that sorted out and get a replacement harmonic balancer on there. Alright, and now let's head underneath and start pulling off the remainder of the damaged parts of this car. Wow, that's seriously bent, and that now gives us access to a steering rack. That's one side. Right, that's just about a steering rack out. Just need to undo it from the steering column. And there's our steering rack, which is, well, seen better days. And here's the steering rack. Guys, now with the steering rack out, you can really see the damage. There's the oil pan. Front subframe is bent up and damaged, cracked. Right there. That's the engine support mount, and that's also cracked. Needs to be replaced. There's the timing chain. As you can see, that's all good. Obviously, that oil pump needs to be replaced. Water pump, the timing chain cover needs to be replaced. Also, the IC compressor needs to be replaced as well. Or at least the wheel does. Now that we have some of the engine parts taken off, let's shift our focus to the right hand side, and I want to get the brakes and the suspension stripped down here. We need to be able to get to the axles because the axles are also blocking us from removing the oil pan. So let's start off with the caliper, wear sensor, and then followed by the pins, and then take off this huge caliper. The pads seem to be a little bit worn out, so I think we'll need to replace these as well. Okay, that's both the pads out. The inner one is a little bit better shape, but both of them need to be replaced, as I said. Please let me know. 221mm bolts, and now a 14mm wrench now, just to undo that brake line, and I've been able to stem the flow of me taking off the brake cable line with one of these Volkswagen rubber grommets. These calipers didn't do jack. They don't work very well, so I don't recommend these. Just don't seem to be bloody working. And as I was taking off the brake hose, is a part of the McPherson or suspension that came off, and I believe this is a cylinder that regulates the ride height or the right settings from hard to soft. So I would say this shock absorber needs to be replaced. Now that we're taking off the brake caliper, let's see if we can get this lower control arm, or what's left of it, off. Let's see if we can get this rotor off. Ooh, jeez. Oh, this rotor. This rotor weighs a ton. It's huge. Once again, brake shield is fixed up with 3 E10s. Now I do need to do some work on this edge right here, but I think we should be able to get that out. The next thing I want to do is see if we can get this half axle removed. Doesn't want to budge. Oh, let's see if we can get this undone with a breaker bar. So I am having a bit of a problem with this bolt because my impact wrench does not want to get it unbolted, and the breaker bar keeps on turning the axle. Alright, so I've actually bolted the wheel nuts in, and that's really holding that. No, that's still turning on me, which is... Alright, so I've tried to have another way of actually I've got a longer bolt in there. That blocked it, but now I'm still got a problem because this whole steering knuckle is flapping about. And so having an issue taking this half axle bolt off, so I'm thinking the only way I'm really going to be able to get this off is put the wheel back on, lower the car onto the ground, and see if we can get it undone then. I haven't been able to take this front right hand side half axle bolter out, so it's a bit of a pain, but I'll see if I can maybe just get this taken off as a one unit, and that's it. The whole thing needs to be replaced anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So now let's see if we can get this side skirt or rocker panel cover off. And now we've managed to take off the right hand side fender. 1, 2, 3 screws from the top, fourth one right there, for which you actually need to take off this weather stripping for the front windscreen. There's a bolt I need to get to there, and there's 2 bolts right on the bottom there. Now we can see the damage that's been done here, this front section. So I think there is a bit of pulling that needs to be done to try to know this out. Now I've also taken off the side skirt, or the rocker cover, whatever you want to call it. Now this piece, I've actually had a look, these are actually quite expensive. Not quite sure why, but they are. So what I need to do is actually see if I can get this repaired. So there's damage on the front and there's also some damage on the rear. I think the rear one's actually not too bad. Looks quite bad, but we can get that fixed up. Well, first of all, let's get this strut brace looking through. We can use this trigger to actually really move the Mercedes hood up as much as we can. That gives us a little bit more space to getting out the back here. Well, we can make it easier for ourselves and remove this cover. That's much faster. Wow, take a look at that, guys. That's taken a hit. That's all bent up, as you can see right there. So we'll need to get a new one of these. These plastics of these plastic nuts, just 10mm. And this whole thing should now be free for us. Okay, and I think we'll call this quits for this episode. We've got a fair bit done. First of all, the engine is good, it turns, so we should be able to get this sucker saved. So I'm really happy about that. But on the other side, I can't get this bloody nut off. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please consider subscribing. It's going to help me and the channel out enormously. Please leave me a like, leave me a comment. Always love reading comments from yourselves. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. See you guys then. Peace.